Welcome back to Hannity. Now, earlier today, the House Homeland Security Chairman announced that right here in America, there are over 1,000 ISIS investigations in all 50 states. And according to the Washington Times, the FBI is now on high alert as we approach the holiday season. And they're also reporting, quote, Bureau officials are deeply worried they don't have enough resources to track a growing number of radicalized Americans inspired by the Islamic State. Here with reaction, Milwaukee County Sheriff David Clark, Fox News political analyst Juan Williams. Juan, 1,000 investigations is a lot. I'll give you the list. FBI director, the assistant FBI director, the U.S. director of intelligence, State Department spokesman. We have the Homeland Security Committee chairman, and others are all saying ISIS will infiltrate the refugee population. Now, there are 1,000. They've all said that they will infiltrate.
No, what they said is that they have ongoing investigations, and it's possible. But the fact is, Sean...
Wait. No, let me correct you.
All right.
They said that and by the way, I'll add to that General John Allen. They have all said that it is likely that ISIS will infiltrate the refugee population. They've all warned the president. Why is your president willing to gamble with the lives of American citizens in light of the fact that they were able to infiltrate in France? Why would you gamble with people's lives?
Well, first of all, what happened in France were people who were holding European passports.
Excuse me.
Okay.
They were refugees who went to Belgium and then attacked France.
These were
refugees.
People, no, these were people. In fact, the prime bad guy was a child of Moroccan refugees who was born in Belgium.
Right, you're missing the point. Why would we take in 10,000 refugees when you have General John Allen, America's top envoy coalition to defeat ISIS, the FBI director, the director of national intelligence? They're all saying that they'll infiltrate. Why take that risk? Why gamble with Americans' lives?
Because guess what? This is a country based on the idea that we are compassionate, that we will take in the immigrants from other countries.
And when they attack and people die, when they attack like in Paris and people die, who has blood on their hands,
You
Juan?
are inspiring
who has blood on
fear.
their hands?
Sean Hannity, you are inspiring fear and discrimination against people. This is like Jeb Bush saying, oh, yeah, take the Christians, not the Muslims. That's not America. That is some other place. Remember back in the 30s when we were said that about the Jews? Oh, don't bring the Jewish refugees in here.
If you grew up believing that women can't drive, women have to dress a certain way, women need a male relative to go out in public, and you grew up and women need 4 male eyewitnesses for rape, as some people grow up under Sharia, is there a cultural clash in that environment? How do we know if you will assimilate or not?
I am so glad you mentioned this, because isn't it incredible that in this country, we have not had one arrest of anybody who immigrated to this country from the Muslim world for domestic terrorism.
Jeff Sessions put out 3 pages of it, and I have it, and I'll put it up on the screen, of people that have come from Muslim countries that have gained citizenship and that have been arrested for terror. The FBI has charged 66 Mideastern refugees with plotting ISIS attacks on the homeland. Let me bring in Sheriff Clark. Sheriff, weigh in.
First of all, the system is blinking red. There's no doubt about that. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when there'll be another terror attack in the United States. As a policymaker, here's what I want to know from my intelligence sources. Who specifically are the threats? What are their capabilities? And are they planning an attack? Is an attack imminent? Now, what I've questioned, and I'll continue to question, is if we're set up structurally for effective intelligence to stay what the MI5 in the UK calls left of boom. Left of boom is pre-attack, pre-event. Oftentimes we find ourselves, especially with the FBI, I think they're miscast, and that's not a knock on them. They're not a true intelligence agency. They're an investigative agency, but they stay too often to the right of boom. They're looking for probable cause to make an arrest. The system was blinking red on Nidal Hassan when he shot 16 or 17 of his fellow, at the time anyway, service members. The system was blinking red on the Tsarnaev brothers. But Juan, I find it interesting that you, and this is human nature, it's not a knock on you, said you'd get nervous. You have gotten nervous when you board a commercial airliner and you see an imam get on. I understand that from a human nature perspective, but my question to you, Juan, would be, when do we become compassionate about the safety of the American people?
Every day in every way. That's why we appreciate you. But I'm just telling you, you can't say, and right now, after 2011, look at who we've let in. Over 50% of these people that come in, they're old people over 50 years old. A quarter, no, let me finish. A quarter are children, Sheriff, and only 2% are men of what they call combat age. So when you look at the vetting process, and it takes about 2 years, if not longer, for any of these refugees before they get to U.S. soil, You have to understand how thorough it can be and how we are, in fact, resorting to xenophobic anxiety instead of being a
Sheriff,
warm,
let me ask you a
welcoming
question.
people.
Sheriff, is there any way to
disagree with that.
ascertain? This is an important question. Is there any way to ascertain if somebody has the intention of coming to America for a better life for themselves and their family, or whether or not they have a desire to commit a terror act on our soil? We can't possibly ascertain that. And all of our intelligence sources are saying that ISIS will infiltrate the refugee population.
They will try.
Are we, Sheriff, gambling with the lives of the American people if we take them in?
Sure we are. Look, one of the pillars of a terror organization are document forgers, and we're finding that out in France, and we've seen that here as well. Passports that appear to be real, but they're actually forged documents. So you're actually asking these intelligence sources and actually these screeners to try to thread a needle, and to try to thread that needle in the dark, and you're using black thread. So it's darn near impossible to do, and it takes a long time. I agree with Paul Ryan right now, the Speaker of the House. We need to pause on this thing. We need to take a step back, because there is no true, accurate way. There's no true, accurate way of identifying exactly who we're letting into the country.
And when we come back, Geraldo Rivera, he joins us.